On the TV, on the radio, and even social media, everyone has become a debater. Hot heads, hot takes, and lots of hot air are now the norm. But only one can be the master debater. This is Master Debaters from News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
And I'm Dennis Foley. Welcome to Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins. Joining us this week, he covers mixed martial arts for combat culture. Say hello to Matt Ryan. Hey, Matt.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Our next debater covers the world of social media and the internet in the Garbage Day newsletter, available throughout the week, Ryan Broderick. Hey, Ryan.
Good evening.
And our third debater making a return appearance is an empty chair. We're going to presume the empty chair doesn't have much to say. They will all be presenting arguments in an effort to try to win over our judge, who this week is Alex from Long Island, New York. Hey, Alex.
Hi there.
So Alex's job is to analyze and critique each response our contestants give to questions I present throughout the show. Along with asking the questions, I am the show's referee. If I hear something I don't like or maybe merits a penalty, you will hear this whistle. Now, before we get started, let's give our contestants a chance to get to know the judge a little bit better by asking him a question. We're going to start with Matt. Do you have a question for Judge Alex?
Yes, I do, Judge Alex. If you were to say, pick your favorite baseball team and it's Bobby Bonilla-ness, how Bobby Bonilla-ish would your baseball team be?
It would be pretty Bobby Bonilla-ish, but it's getting better.
And Ryan.
At least on paper.
And Ryan, do you have a question for a Judge Alex?
Yeah. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Depends on the application.
Interesting.
I'm not touching that one.
Let's start the debate.
That brings up more questions than answers.
Opening arguments on Master Debater.
Yes, it's time for opening arguments. In this segment, I'm going to give each combatant a question. That combatant answers the question, and our Judge Alex gives them a score between 0 and 10 points. They will have 30 seconds for their argument, and a buzzer will let them know when that time is up. The first topic, a mixed bag for the Super Bowl ratings.
And the Chiefs ended up being a lopsided game during a pandemic, which wasn't great for the ratings. Nielsen says 96.4 million people watched the blowout, down 5.5% from last year, and the smallest audience in 14 years. The TV-only numbers on CBS, 91.6 million, is the lowest total in 15 years. But the bright side was streaming, 5.7 million, up 65% from last year, and an all-time high. However you look at it, it's still a massive number and by far the most watched broadcast on TV. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
So, Matt, in your bones, do you feel that more people or fewer people watched the Super Bowl this year compared to previous years? 30 seconds.
I feel like more people than ever, because when you take a look at the globalization of pro football and the democratization of media, more people are able to watch the NFL more than ever, especially if they have VPNs. Most people are probably utilizing VPNs to watch content right now. I know a lot of people do it for The Office on Netflix. And also, I just cut the cord myself after having some sort of cable or satellite since 1995. We've finally cut the cord here at the house and have YouTube TV. And it's awesome because I can watch anything anywhere.
Alex, what score 0 to 10 for that?
It's pretty good. I'd say 7.
Okay. Ryan. European archaeologists have identified the oldest known wind instrument of its type, and it still works.
The conch shell was found in a cave in southern France 8 decades ago. It lay forgotten in a French museum until a recent inventory revealed carefully drilled holes designed to create 3 distinct musical notes. Ready to hear them? Sounding out for the first time in 17,000 years. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
So, Ryan, if you had the opportunity to play an ancient musical instrument that hadn't been played in 17,000 years, would you? 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those 3 notes, they're simple, but like, that's a banger, you know? You put like a beat under that, you slam some rocks, you've got yourself a good groove going. I would like to think also that there probably wasn't much to do, like 1,000 years ago or several thousand years ago. So, blowing 3 notes just like next to the cave, that's a night. That's a Friday night, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm all for it. I think we should bring back prehistoric music. Sounds cool. What the hell?
So, Alex, what score do you want to give Ryan 0 to 10 for that?
I give him a 6.
Oh.
You didn't even hear the whole thing. Wait, all right, fine.
Next topic. About a week after a hacker tried to remotely tamper with the water supply in Florida, utility operators and law enforcement agencies around the country have received a 7-page notification from the FBI.
Federal investigators think the hackers exploited poor password security and an outdated Windows 7 operating system to slip into the Oldsmar Water Department computer. Preventing it, says former FBI agent Randy Parkman.
Might be as simple as choosing a better password or using two-factor authentication.
Cybersecurity specialist Alex Hammerstone thinks some good might come out of the Oldsmar incident.
We certainly hope that, a near miss will lead to the kind of changes and systems and programs to prevent this.
Jim Ryan, ABC News.
So, Matt and Ryan, you're not each. You're both going to split 30 seconds. And tell me, do you think your passwords and your operating systems and all your gadgets are secure enough to prevent a hacking like that? 30 seconds.
I feel like, I guess I'll go first. I feel like, yes, it's nearly impossible for me to get into my PayPal account without two-factor authentication, password, my social security number, at least 8 security questions. I feel like I have better strategy than an entire county in Florida, which really isn't all that hard because it's a county in Florida. You see the people they elect down there? They all look like they fell out of a pie-eating contest. It's a little depressing and honestly a little sad. And this is my announcement that I'm running for governor of Florida.
I have bad passwords.
All right, Alex.
I have a shitty password.
Alex, what'd you think about that argument? Give it a score 0 to 10.
If Matt's actually going to run for governor of Florida, I'll give him a 9.
All right, so the empty chair is going to get 9 points. Well, coming up.
So what?
A devilish doll was a suspect in an Amber Alert, but are there better suspects out there? We'll debate that and more next on Master Debaters from KTSA.
This is Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
It is. Things are going to start to heat up a little bit now. We have Matt Ryan Broderick, and an empty chair this week competing to convince our judge Alex that their argument is the best argument. And if you want to be a judge on a future edition of Master Debaters, head over to our website, ktsa.com/masterdebaters, and enter. So let's keep this debate going.
For argument's sake, on Master Debaters.
So here I'm going to give all 3 contestants, or 2, however you want to count them, the same question. They will each take a turn presenting their argument on that topic. After they all take their 30 seconds to respond, our judge will give each of them anywhere from 0 to 10 points for their responses. Help arrives for a woman who got into a sticky situation.
Tessica Brown of Louisiana was doing her hair and ran out of hairspray. She used Gorilla Glue spray. No matter what she tried, she couldn't remove the stuff. Even a trip to the ER didn't help. The acetone wipes burned her scalp, she says. Dr. Michael Obeng saw the viral story and offered to do a special chemical treatment for free.
The surgery went well. Tessica is doing well. She's awake. The hair crew is here doing her hair. It's all matted down, but now it's not. It's unmatted. It's untangled.
The full recovery is 2 to 3 months. The Gorilla Glue company says this is a unique situation. They say the product is not indicated for use in or on hair. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
So what other household products do you think could be misappropriated with disastrous results? We're going to start with Matt, 30 seconds.
Okay, so growing up in New York City, they had a thing called Fabuloso. It was a bleach/cleaner, and it looked exactly like the quarter juices that they would sell in the local bodegas. And also it being the 1990s, more likely than not, a lot of parents in Brooklyn and the greater part of New York City in the Northeast would have to make sure their Fabuloso was under lock and key, like it was shaving cream or other implements at a Walgreens now. It's probably, things like that. A litany of other products, but primarily Fabuloso. Fabuloso can kill you.
Ryan, your 30-second debate or argument.
So actually, fun fact, I did see someone else do something similar to the Gorilla Glue video yesterday, which is a woman. She put like a home perming kit on her pubic hair. This is real. This is true. Google this. And then she appears to have fallen asleep while the perming solution worked its way in. And I don't want to be too gross, but apparently she did have to go to the hospital because not just the hair fell off when she woke up.
Alex, what score do you want to give Matt Ryan and the empty chair for that?
I have to think. Hang on,
Uh-oh.
because you made a good point, especially about Fabuloso. I'd give him an 8.
And for Ryan and the empty chair?
For Ryan, definitely a 6. And the empty chair, I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Next topic, the city of San Antonio the past week or two has been clearing out homeless camps around the city, except for one outside a city councilman's office. San Antonio City Councilman Roberto Trevino spent a night at his satellite office when he heard the city was going to clear out the homeless camp around the facility.
I just wanted to make sure that nobody was harassed. I wanted to see it for myself, that if somebody was going to be asked to move along, that how they were treated.
Trevino was confronted by residents who accused him of ignoring their complaints concerning criminal activity and harassment by panhandlers and vagrants. Blankets, bags, and a grocery basket were found behind the office where homeless people come and go. So we're going to start with Ryan, actually. Is the councilman doing right or wrong with his handling of the homeless camp? 30 seconds.
Wait, cut out there. Can you play the clip again? It was sort of garbled on my
I just wanted to make sure that nobody was harassed. I wanted to see it for myself, that if somebody was going to be asked to move along, that how they were treated.
Oh, yeah. Like everyone deserves dignity, and like homeless people, especially right now in the middle of winter, in the middle of a pandemic, treat them with kindness and dignity. And there's like no question in my mind that that's the right way to do it.
Matt, your 30-second argument.
It's hard to argue against the point that Ryan made. Maybe we should be looking at how to help the homeless community get on their feet, or how to create systems so sustainable that we don't have to deal with these problems, and these people don't have to panhandle, don't have to steal, aren't dependent upon drugs and alcohol, aren't dependent upon doing things that they don't want to do and really shouldn't have to do in one of the greatest countries on the planet and one of the most opulent economies in modern history. We're still allowing this to happen. There's no universal basic income. How can we allow that to happen?
All right, Alex, scores for Matt Ryan and the empty chair, 0 to 10.
The empty chair, didn't do it for me. I'm gonna have to give it a 0. For Matt, I will say 9.
And for Ryan?
Ryan made a very good point. I'll also give him a 9.
Okay. A Houston area mom didn't think twice about tackling a man who was peeking into her daughter's bedroom window.
Phyllis Benya of Lake Jackson called police when she caught a man peeking into her daughter's bedroom window. He ran off, but Benya dashed onto the street, knocked him to the ground, and held him until police got there.
I figured at least I could do if I got him down, tripped him up, whatever, then they, have a chance to get caught up.
She told KPRC TV she was just protecting her daughter.
And the cop, fist bumped me, and he was like, hey, so I heard Texans are looking for a new linebacker.
You can see the video on our news page at ktsa.com. Elizabeth Ruiz, KTSA News.
We're going to start with Matt. What would you do if you saw a pair of eyes peering into your home through a window? 30 seconds.
Oh, I would grab a hammer and chase them down the street while calling the police. Homie, don't play that. I live in a basement apartment, and sometimes you see people or hear people walking by and having conversations you really shouldn't be saying outside, like it's an episode of Sex and the City out there. But for me, quite honestly, seeing eyes in your windowsill and seeing things like that, it's frightening. And weirdly enough, it's kind of happened once or twice in my life, and it's not the best thing in the world. That's why you always have a hammer or some sort of implements and the police on speed dial.
Ryan, what would you do? 30 seconds.
I mean, it would be very frightening. But I feel like based on the way, I'm currently living during this pandemic, I would also be very embarrassed that everyone was seeing the way I live on a daily basis. So it would be very complicated for me because I would be, of course, terrified that a strange person is trying to break into my home. But I would also be very embarrassed that they would see that, I ate spaghetti and pizza for breakfast this morning. And I don't want that. I don't want anyone to know that, even if they're coming in to murder me. So, like I said, it's going to be a complicated wave of emotions.
All right, Alex, what score do you want to give Ryan, Nat, and the empty chair?
I would give Ryan a 7. I'll give Matt a 8, and I'll give the empty chair a 4.
Okay, yet another state is caught up in controversy over transgender young people.
Republican Tennessee Governor Bill Lee says transgender student-athlete participation will destroy women's sports. His comment came in response to proposed legislation in the state that would require middle and high school student-athletes to play in school sports under their birth gender.
That's CBS's Jim Kursula. Now, does having transgender students participating in girls or women's sporting events help or hurt the entire concept of female athletics? We'll start with Ryan, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm actually kind of radical about this. I feel like there should be no gender distinctions of how anyone plays sports. If that's a problem for you, grow up. I think that the idea of having men and women not being able to compete together is silly. Also, statistically, it doesn't actually play out the way you think it does. Most studies I've seen have actually shown that women tend to actually be better than men at certain sports. The whole thing, just get rid of it. It's such a boring argument. Let men, women, and non-binary people play sports together. Jesus Christ, it's 2021.
Matt, 30 seconds.
Hard to argue with that point. But if they identify as a gender and they've begun their transition, let them compete at the gender they identify as and they're living their lives as. We've seen the repercussions of forcing transgendered female to male compete against females, and it's completely one-sided. We're seeing situations to where we're treating these athletes and these students not like student athletes, but as political pawns, and it's disgusting.
So, Alex, what scores do you want to give Matt, Ryan, and the empty chair?
I'll give Matt I'll give him an 8. Give the empty chair just hasn't been saying anything. I mean, there's just no point in there. A 2 maybe.
And for Ryan?
Ryan also gets an 8.
Okay, next topic. A red-faced Texas Department of Safety has apologized for an Amber Alert test that went terribly wrong.
It was like any other Amber Alert, including a description of the kidnapping suspect, a white male, red hair, blue eyes, 28 years old, and wearing blue overalls. Police even had the perpetrator's name, Chucky. Yes, that Chucky.
I'm gonna get you!
The foul-mouthed homicidal doll from the Child's Play movies. Without being specific, the Texas DPS says the alert was sent as a result of a test malfunction. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
So what movie character would you suggest as being a better suspect in an Amber Alert case? We're going to start with Matt, 30 seconds.
I really wouldn't want to put anyone in a position where we have to send out an Amber Alert. But if we were going to do this for the sake of haha and funny, let's see. Anybody from Pride and Prejudice, Harry and Mar from the Gritty. You know what? It should be Gritty. Gritty should be the one that you use in any situation as the catch-all offender or victim in any test, because Gritty is a catch-all for society. He is a common man. He is someone who speaks to all the people with his gigantic tummy.
Ryan, 30 seconds.
First, I got to push back on this Gritty slander. I think that's unacceptable. Gritty is an ally to the working people of the world and should be protected at all costs. And second, there's a very clear movie villain that you could use in this exact situation, which is Freddy Krueger. He comes into your dreams. He goes after children. He's he wears a fedora. Anyone who wears a fedora is a creep, So I feel like this is the perfect person we should focus on. And plus, he's spooky. He's scary. He's got knives for fingers. Yeah, Freddy Krueger and Greedy rules.
All right, Alex, what scores you want to give Ryan, Matt, and the empty chair?
Ryan, for his defensive Gritty, gets a 6. Matt gets a 10 because he's right about Gritty. And
bullshit.
the empty chair, the empty chair is, I don't know, 5.
You know what? I'm happy I'm getting a 6 if I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who think that way about Gritty.
Gritty's creepy. Oh, next topic. A incident report has been filed in connection with the November arrest of Bruce Springsteen for DWI.
During a November visit to Gateway National Recreation Area in New Jersey, Bruce Springsteen admitted to taking 2 shots of tequila in less than 20 minutes. A park ranger said he watched Springsteen consume 1 shot of Patron and then get on his motorcycle. Springsteen refused to provide a sample for a preliminary breath test. The park ranger said that Springsteen smelled of alcohol and appeared glassy-eyed.
That's ABC's Aaron Katersky. Jeep has pulled its Super Bowl ad featuring Springsteen from future runs after the news came out. We're going to start with Ryan. Should they have pulled that ad, and should people really care about this? 30 seconds.
There's a ton of crazy conspiracy stuff going on around this arrest, and I kind of actually fell down the rabbit hole about this afternoon. It seems like it was a completely trumped up charge, if you ask me, and also New Jersey cops or New Jersey Park Patrol, I do not think that they're operating in good faith. Also, just pulling over Bruce Springsteen on a motorcycle, yeah, it's all screwy. And also, to drop his ad is also dumb. It's the first ad that Bruce Springsteen has ever actually really made in his career, and it's a decent ad. The whole thing's stupid. Just put the ad back up and drop the charges.
All right, Matt, 30 seconds.
Well, I took a shot of Patron and I got on my motorcycle. That's the start of his new album. This is him writing. This is Bruce Springsteen being Bruce Springsteen. This is the most common man New Jerseyite thing Bruce Springsteen has done since the Born in the USA tour. Taking 2 shots of Patron straight up and then riding his motorcycle down the turnpike. God bless you. You are as New Jersey as bagels and Taylor ham. Let Bruce be Bruce. This is as Ryan said, one mistake. Right. Don't do it again, though.
Wait, I got to point out, just for clarity's sake. So I like I said, I fell down this rabbit hole. Bruce Springsteen, apparently his dad was an alcoholic. He doesn't really drink. He's not totally sober, but it was 1 shot of tequila with a fan, apparently during a photo op. So the whole thing's totally nuts. Anyways, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make that really clear.
Alex, the question was, should they have pulled the Jeep ad, and should people care about this whole DWI thing? What scores you want to give Ryan, Matt, and the empty chair?
The empty chair is a John Bon Jovi fan, so I'm going to give it a 2.
Good, yeah.
Matt, I'll give a 7, and Ryan, I'll also give a 7.
Okay, next topic. An unfortunate glitch in a socially distanced court hearing via computer, which is not supposed to look fun.
An attorney at a virtual court hearing in Brewster County, Texas, was alerted by Judge Roy Ferguson.
I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings.
A Zoom filter that, under less serious conditions, would amuse friends by changing your image on the computer into something else.
I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying.
Attorney Rod Porton.
I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
He looked like a big talking kitten. The judge tweeting, important Zoom tip. If a child used your computer, check to see that the filters are off. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
To start with, Matt, what's your worst Zoom call fear? 30 seconds.
Oh, people seeing what I actually look like or see what I'm actually wearing. I have to go on Zoom calls on camera all the time, and I have to remember, hey, people are going to see you. Put on something with some semblance of a collar. Because I am a bum human being and all I wear are, undershirts and sweatpants. I even do that when I walk the dog and there's a blizzard going on. But it's them seeing me for what I truly am, a scumbag in a scumbag world in scumbag clothes.
Ryan, what's your worst Zoom call fear? 30 seconds.
once I got invited into like a digital happy hour, and there was like at least 15 people in there, and they wanted to play Jackbox, and they wanted to keep playing Jackbox, and then like more people got added, and then like it was someone's birthday, and like that was horrible. And I don't want to ever have a repeat of that again. Like I want a maximum of 2 people on a Zoom call, and I want it to last approximately 20 minutes at most. That's my biggest fear.
Alex, what scores you want to give 0 to 10?
Can I get a point of clarification?
Sure.
What is Jackbox?
Oh, Jackbox is basically it's an online party game that people. It's normally intended for like a living room situation, but people can play distanced. But basically, it's a whole series of party games, video game party games.
Gotcha. Who am I giving a score to first?
You can give anyone you want to start with, Ryan, Matt, or the empty chair.
Matt, I'll give an 8 for, his confession of living his scumbag life. Ryan, I'll give a 7. Because he just seems kind of antisocial. And the empty chair, God, the empty chair just really made a point, because he said how afraid he is of being an empty chair. So I'll give the empty chair a 10.
Okay, well, coming up, our debaters have some things on their minds. We're going to let them vent a little bit, see what their competitors think about it. It's next, right here in Master Debaters from KTSA.
This is Master Debaters from 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
And I'm Dennis Foley. Joining us this week, we have Matt Ryan, Ryan Broderick, and an empty chair who are all working to coerce or judge Alex to give them more points than their fellow competitors. Let's keep this debate going.
State your case on Master Debaters.
So our competitors before the show came in with a topic they wanted to talk about and that they wanted to present to our judge. They would get 60 seconds to do so. During those 60 seconds, if the other combatants wish to challenge, they would get 30 seconds each after the case is done being presented to present their own challenge. After all those challenges, the original presenter will get to deliver their own 30-second rebuttal to address the challengers. Now, if they change their topic from what they had sent in before the show, I'm going to give an automatic 5-point penalty. There are also more points at stake. Our judge can now give up to 20 points at the end of each topic, or can take away up to 20 points from everyone, whether they challenge or choose to stay quiet. So right now, our points leader is Matt. So Matt, you get to start with your 60-second argument.
Okay, so Valentine's Day is this weekend, and I don't mean to go off on a rant here, but I feel like we should start. You know how you can trade holidays at work? You can take off some days and you can get PTO. I feel like we should do the same thing with non-date specific holidays, or any generic holiday that doesn't have religious significance to them. And Valentine's Day is that one. For people like me who are single, sad, and are just going to be spending the day staring in the mirror and listening to Culture Club, I'd rather celebrate something like Arbor Day or Flag Day, maybe St. Swithin's Day. Maybe I can even try to get Bastille Day to change days. That would cause a lot of red tape and me relearning French, but I feel like it would be worth it. It gives the opportunity for people who really don't like this holiday, don't like the connotations to it, or are cheap, and switch it with something else that makes them a little happier, because Valentine's Day is about finding love. And what's the most important thing in the world? Loving yourself.
So no challenge, but before I go to Alex, one question for Matt. What about President's Day? I mean, it's the day after Valentine's Day this year.
You can swap it for that, and you can make President's Day a 2-day holiday. You can go back to the old school, celebrating Washington and Lincoln's birthday on separate days.
Okay. Alex, what scores you want to give everyone? Ryan, Matt, and the empty chair for that argument, or lack of argument?
Let's see. I will give Matt 20 points.
Okay.
Ryan, no points because he didn't come in. And the empty chair, -1.
Really sticking it to the empty chair, aren't you?
Yeah, I really felt the empty chair had an argument, but just it was holding back.
Okay. Ryan, your turn for your 60-second argument.
Yeah, all right. So, guys, I'm really frustrated. Started learning audio and music production during the lockdown and gotten pretty good at it. And I like social media. I want to share things that I'm working on, with friends out on Twitter or whatever. And I have been really struggling because there really isn't a good way to share audio on the internet. SoundCloud sort of for music, I guess, and maybe some podcasts, but not really. And then podcasts are all a complete mess because they're still running on RSS, even though it's 2021, and a bunch of them are now owned by huge conglomerates. And then I started thinking about how audio, more than any other thing on the internet, is so impossible to share. And it's probably because of giant music corporations who spent years being able to blackball platforms from letting us just upload audio because they're so terrified that we're going to leak a song or something, which means that you can't just take an audio file and share it with people on the internet, which is so ridiculous that an entire file type, an entire media type is just off limits on major social networks. It's crazy and I hate it.
All right, Matt, with a very late challenge, but 30 seconds, here you go.
Well, the internet now is more democratized than ever, and audio now is more democratized than ever. It's taking the same route as the television and radio industry, and that's terrible. But now more than ever, anybody has a voice, and also getting it out there may be hard, but if you're skilled and you're talented and you have the right cousin who can get you in the right thing, or your friend has a radio show like this one, and you can say Catalyst Wrestling every single week on Fight TV, Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. At Catalyst Wrestle on Twitter. Then it's a great thing.
Ryan, your 30-second rebuttal.
I don't know. I just want to share a snippet of a thing I made that's only audio. And then I tried to make a video of the recording inside the app to share it as a video, but then QuickTime doesn't record in MP4, but Twitter only allows MP4s. And I have to think that this is all just complicated, stupid nonsense because a bunch of huge companies want to make extra money on stuff they've already made money on. And it's I just wanted to share a fun little jingle I made for my podcast with people on Twitter.
Before I go to Alex, I just want to say, Ryan, you are reading my mind. Alex, that's been my world for the past decade or so.
It's driving me insane.
Oh, I know. I'm in the same boat. Alex, what points would you give out to Ryan, Matt, and the empty chair?
I didn't know people still use QuickTime. It's interesting. I will give Ryan. I'll give Ryan 22 points.
The maximum's 20.
Maximum's 20.
Yeah, it's 20. Negative 20 to 20.
Maximum was 25 points.
No. You're playing the wrong game.
20. Okay. 20 points then.
Okay.
And I will give Matt -5 for being a shill.
Okay. And
Dare you.
The empty chair?
Empty chair gets -10 for being more of a shill.
Okay. Well, coming up, who's going to win? It all comes down to one final fight. This is Master Debaters from KTSA.
From 550 KTSA and FM 1071, this is Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
The argument is going to wrap up right here with one final fight. It's a battle this week between Matt Ryan, Ryan Broderick, and an empty chair to convince our judge, Alex, that their argument is the best argument. But it all comes down to one final fight.
Closing arguments on Master Debaters.
This is where it all gets decided in a 4-minute melee. I present the topic, and our 2 or 3 contestants will hash it out amongst themselves for a whole 4 minutes, no more. No less. At the sound of the final buzzer, our judge will give each combatant up to 100 points, or can take away up to 100 points. The person with the fewest points will get a 15-second head start. And then everyone else can join in after the bell has rung. So right now, the contestant with the fewest points. Do you guys want to take a guess which contestant has the fewest points?
Assume the chair?
Yeah,
the chair. Yeah.
The empty chair has the fewest points right now. So they'll get a 15-second head start. The topic. The Star-Spangled Banner was played in Dallas Wednesday night.
The national anthem playing for the first time this season at the Dallas Mavericks Arena after a firestorm ignited by team owner Mark Cuban, who had decided not to play the Star-Spangled Banner at home games. He says the initial decision to skip the anthem was made after speaking with members of the local community.
Quite a few people that voiced their concerns, or really their fears, that the national anthem did not fully represent them, that their voices were not being heard.
Critics then speaking out. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick compared Cuban's move to last month's riot at the U.S. Capitol.
And that's ABC's Andrea Fuji. Should the national anthem be played before sporting events? That's a 4-minute debate with a 15-second head start for the empty chair.
Pretty awkward.
Okay, Dan Patrick, first of all, you're a tool bag. I don't feel like anybody except like 15 people in the state of Texas like you. I feel like you were appointed or along for the ride, as most lieutenant governors are. So first of all, kick rocks. And second of all, it's 2021. I believe the United States of America is the only country, with the exception of Canada, because they got roped into this whole fakakta scheme because they're in our leagues, where we play our national anthem before every game. Do we need a dramatic display of patriotism?
Absolutely
no.
not. It's bullshit. I agree with you.
I feel like right now it's kind of like Chuck D and Flavor Flav.
Yeah.
It's a very public enemy feel right now. Fight the
Yeah,
power.
go off, King. No, it's nonsense. I agree with you. Why are we doing this? What does sports have to do with the country? We don't even play any international sports. It's not like we're playing like soccer. We're playing against only other Americans because we're not, competent enough at like actual internationally recognized sports to play the whole world. So it's like, why do we need to sing the national anthem playing baseball against other Americans? It's not even like we're playing Japanese teams. It's ridiculous. We all know we're American. Come on.
And it's more so for me, just like, it feels like we're doing it for the sake of ceremony, and we really don't need that. Are we using it now for just a commercial break? Is it mandated because we need to get that spot set at the top of the hour to get us to 05 when the tip-off actually happens, or when the first pitch is actually thrown? As a producer, as someone who's called games, as someone who's had to introduce national anthems, it gets in the way of everything. You start doing this, hey, everybody, we're going to get ready for this game. We'll get ready in a second. But first, we have to be solemn at this thing we're getting drunk, high, and angry at to sing our national anthem, because we are a self-loathing people and must continue to be a self-loathing people because we are a nation founded by repressed pilgrims. All right, everybody, now stand solemnly as we remind ourselves how flawed our nation actually is. No, it's a ball game. If I'm going to also,
wait. No, because if you want to do one thing I do want to say is if you want to do like a cool, hard song to sing before the sports game, so everyone's like, oh wow, that's a hard song. That was really impressive. Like, look at that. Wow, they really hit the major fifth there. That's cool. It should be like an actually impressive, hard to sing song, like Whitney Houston's "I Want to Dance with Somebody," or like the Beyonce song with the key change at the several key changes at the end. Like, if you want to do like a cool song and everyone's like, wow, that's amazing, like my daughter really sang that song really well, go Chicago, or whatever the fuck, like pick a good song that's difficult, not some old song written by people who didn't know what germs were. We have much more complicated songs that are much more fun to listen to nowadays.
And also on top of that, when you take a look at everything, like America the Beautiful, they start every WrestleMania with that. That's a much better song. You line up Aretha Franklin or Ray Charles renditions of America the Beautiful against any rendition of the national anthem with the exception of the Whitney Houston one, and that's not fair because she taped that, and it's come out that she's taped that, and that's the reason why Scott Norwood went wide right, because he was trying to figure out if that was live or recorded. It threw him off, and it completely ruined football, and it opened the door for the Dallas Cowboys to be a dynasty. And yes, once again, I'm the guy saying Jerry Jones is a crypt keeper looking fool cool. And I also believe he's in a hot tub somewhere with Yogi Berra looking at Roger Clemens come out of the dugout. Okay, we still got time. Okay, cool. So more importantly, when we
what if it was the poker app? What if you had to recite the poker app from memory? Like, what if it was more like, I'm just saying it should be more complicated song, so everyone's like, oh wow, because it's like a competitive it's a competitive atmosphere, so it should be like a hard thing to do. Ooh, like Bare Naked Ladies 1 week.
Before I go to
the Chinese chicken.
Before I go to Alex, just one minor counter perspective, I guess, for Ryan's argument. Because in theory, the national anthem is, or the Star Spangled Banner more specifically, is a relatively simple song, if that's your argument. In a way, doesn't it provide a better gauge on who's a better singer or not, because it is a simple song that everyone should be able to sing? So you can do an apples to apples comparison between, let's say, a Lady Gaga versus, Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi or whoever.
Well, what if it was like every city got to like bring in like a guitar player to play Slayer's Raining Blood or something? You know, I'm just saying, like, we're not thinking outside the box enough in terms of what we'd want to watch a musician in every city do. You know, what if it was like a rap battle? You know, we can put whatever we want there. It's an empty space before the game. That's all. That's my argument.
All right. So, Alex, what scores you want to give Ryan, Matt, and the empty chair for that 4-minute melee?
Wow. There were, the interesting thing is that there wasn't a lot of counterpoint. The two major debaters were kind of in sync.
No pun intended.
No pun intended at all. I will have to say that I will give 65 points to Matt, 60 points to Ryan. The empty chair, according to my interpretation, wanted to replace the national anthem with the Internationale. That's just communist rhetoric right there. So I'm going to give the empty chair -100. So that's where I stand.
All right. So let's see who is finishing this fight with the highest or lowest score on this week's edition of Master Debaters. Well, after minutes of just extremely heated discussion about very, very, very controversial topics going on in the country right now, it's time to name this week's Master Debater. In third place, to no surprise, with -76 points, the empty chair, which is a new record low on the show for score, and a much worse figure than it had on its previous visit on the show. So in second place, with 136 points, is Ryan, which means this week's Master Debater with 145 points is Matt Ryan. Matt, here's your 60 seconds to celebrate beating an empty chair and one other person. Starts now.
To quote Buddy, the late great Buddy Rogers, to a nicer guy, it couldn't happen. Another week, we took last week off, but for the second straight show, it is me, the long hair, oh so debonair, king of Master Debaters, El Grande Beto, Matt Ryan, taking the win again. I want to thank Ryan for being such a gracious opponent, a fun opponent, one who agreed with me a lot, so it kind of made it hard to hate and argue against you, but nonetheless, a fun time was had, and I would like to thank our benevolent judge, Alex. Your check is on the way, and also, I love you very much. But I want to thank you, the audience, once again, the guy you get mad at in your car on the way to and from wherever you're going on a Saturday night or whenever you listen to this lovely program, once again gets the victory. New York a New Yorker is the new king of Texas, and until someone takes the crown from me, I am Matt, King of Texas Ryan.
Wow, that
Matt-
was
Matt
totally
King.
worth him winning. That
Wow.
he deserved to win just for that. That was phenomenal.
Well, whatever it means to be the king of Texas, it used to be a republic, but whatever. I'm not going to sit here and second guess our master debater this week. But a big thanks to Matt Ryan, who covers mixed martial arts on combat culture. Ryan Broderick, who covers the world of the internet and social media, the Garbage Day newsletter, and of course, our very gracious and kind and maybe controversial, questionable empty chair. And also big thanks to our judge Alex from Long Island, New York. Master Debaters is a production of XS Studios and KTSA San Antonio. Learn more about Master Debaters online at ktsa.com/masterdebaters. I'm Dennis Foley. This has been Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
San Antonio's home for news and talk. On air, online, and on demand. 550 KTSA and FM 1071.